Hey folks, it's the Red Gang back to Let's Play Shantae and the Pirate's Curse. Pay no mind to the fact that my health is now full, it just does that whenever I restart my file. So yeah, we're not going to worry about that, instead let's just go inside this building here. Because it's time for the second labyrinth of the game, this is the Cackle Tower. And despite its crumbling infrastructure, this is actually my favorite labyrinth in the game, for reasons that will make itself known soon enough. Wow, sure is liking giving me hearts when I don't need them. But yeah, you're gonna have a lot of falling ceiling tiles here, so you definitely want to make sure you keep moving so that those don't fall on your head. We also have a lot of skeletons around here whose aim leaves something to be desired. Well, keep practicing, guys. Maybe one day you'll get it. It definitely helps to buy some shampoo before you come here, because you'll want to be able to do as much damage to these things as quickly as you can. Anyway, like I said, this is my favorite labyrinth in the game, and I'll give you one good reason why. Yes, they remixed the original Labyrinth theme into this song, and that is amazing. And yeah, I was kind of trying to avoid damage there in order to let the music play a little bit, and I ended up taking a few dumb hits there because of it. But yeah, Cackle Tower is my favorite place just for the music that plays here. I loved the original Labyrinth theme back in Shantae, Game Boy Color. This is the music that played during the Dribble Fountain and the Cackle Mound back in Game Boy Color. And how appropriate that the Cackle Mound and the Cackle Tower have similar music. Anyway, getting back to the dungeon at hand, we need to activate this thing, and we're going to need to go and hit 3 switches in order to do that. So let's make our way in this direction, shall we? They're being quite generous with the drops, and we're definitely going to need these Spikeballs later on. It's time for an enemy rush! Although it's not much of one here. But trust me, it'll get bad. Because these guys are back! The Succubus from the Game Boy Color game. They'll turn into bats, and then as soon as they change back, they'll throw their mace at you. They are super annoying to fight. Try and get directly under them so that you can avoid the mace, and then get out of the way before they land on you. This strategy works pretty well as long as there's only one of them on screen. For some reason, I can only land damage every other time they fall, unfortunately. But I'll take what I can get. And again, definitely helps if you want some shampoo before coming here, otherwise you're going to be fighting this thing for a while. But there we go. And we got a pirate flare. That's a new kind of item that maybe we'll see it later on. Anyway, for beating all those enemies, we get ourselves a key! Moving on. Very foreboding music this is. Anyway, we'll stick our key right in here, and let's move forward. So here's a new type of item, or something. You just jump into this thing, and you get this little animation of it trying to chew up Shantae. But basically what this is, it's a blast cannon. You press up, down, left, and right, and you can jump between each one at your will. Pretty interesting way to do it. Kind of like the blast barrels in Donkey Kong Country games. So, yeah. You can bet we're going to be seeing that again. I just missed my ride there. And yeah, now we have a scrolling platform with crumbling infrastructure, but it doesn't fall fast enough to really be a threat, so this section really isn't that bad. I don't feel like jumping all the way over there. Come to me, heart that I don't need. Yeah, always remember that you can use your lamp to gather collectibles from a distance. You'll never have to jump for a gem again. Once again, watch the ceiling and make sure you're not about to get rained on. And if you really want to, just stay underneath these platforms and make them fall. Well, when you can. We're just going to have to move forward here. But if you look at the ceiling, you can see which ones are darkened, so you have an idea of which ones are going to fall. Overall, the skeletons aren't terribly difficult to deal with. And now for more blasting. And here we'll find the map, and now we're going to see just how big this place is. Right, so here's the map. It's quite a tall tower indeed, and as you can see, there's actually one rather big room off to the left, and we're going to be making our way in that direction momentarily. So, despite its size, it's actually pretty basic and still pretty straightforward, much like the last one. Still got to admire that lightning effect in the background, though. Alright. Now we're going to start getting into the meat of things. Now head in this direction, because there's a secret block here that needs to be broken, and then you can just crawl into the wall and launch yourself up to a heart squid. We're only going to be able to get 2 for now. I'm pretty sure there's another one, but we'll have to deal with that later. As always, be careful of the spikes. They won't instantly kill you, but you will explode like a Mega Man and go back to the beginning of the room. And that's not fun. Now we've got ourselves a bit of a puzzle here. We need to shoot these switches in order to open the way to move forward. But don't go too far forward, otherwise you might miss all these goodies. Whoops, didn't quite go the right way. Right, we need to go down and hit that switch down there, and we shoot it from here. Now we can go forward. Just wanted to see if I knocked a gem out of that candle there. And right down here is one of the switches that we need to find in order to activate that device we saw earlier. But we can't quite get to that one just yet, so we're going to make our way up. Actually, no, we're going in this direction. I'm getting a little mixed up, but don't worry, I know where I need to go. It's a rather big tower, you see, so I got a little mixed up. Can ya blame me? It's another enemy rush! Mini skeletons everywhere! If you leave them on the ground too long, they'll start charging towards you, so watch out for that. Once they're gone, we get a vine pot that appears. Easily dispatched, since there's only one of it. And then slimes will appear. Don't get too close to them when they initiate their attack, otherwise you might get hit with a projectile. Not fun. And in the next room, well, we're going to get some goodies up here. It's another treasure box containing new fashion! You've obtained Risky's hat. Press the R button while in the air to float slowly down. Basically think of it like the Deku leaf, and yes, this is the new treasure we're going to get. So you pull out the button and down you go, very slowly. Yeah, we can use this to go over large gaps, so that's going to be quite helpful indeed. Don't want to hurt my little feet going on the way down. So let's see where our newly found treasure can take us now. For that, we'll have to make our way back up. Let me say it again, I love this music. And here's one of those switches that we needed to hit. One of 3. So with that sorted out, time to make our way further up. Hey buddy, going my way? Now we're going to want to float down a little bit because we've got secrets. It's another heart squid. And we can just take this little launcher as a shortcut to the top. You know, if you don't feel like platforming in your platform game. Yeah, it's another busy room, but shouldn't be too bad. It looks like a lot, but if you really want to, then pull out one of your Spikeballs, and that will help clear out the crowds a little faster. And as always, don't be sticking around for ceiling parts to fall on your head. Also, crawl in this part of the platform, and you'll get to this heart squid. I was wrong. We did get all 3 in this run, so we're good. Oh yeah, jump out to get out. Yeah, how you like that? The enemies aren't affected by that. Also, the positioning of this thing is interesting. It's pretty tough to get over here, but, yeah, there's nothing here. This part's just begging for a secret to be up there. But alas, it is for naught. Nothing other than show-offery. Which in itself is worth it. Anyway, we come over here, and here's a key. Oh, don't go all the way to the right, otherwise you might get hit by that. Also, a neat little sprite detail worth looking at. When Shantae has her hat out like this, take a close look at her sprite. You can see the little purple bandana on her head, and that little thing around her leg. The pirate gear actually appears on Shantae's sprite only while you're using pirate gear. Otherwise, you're just looking like Shantae's normal sprite. This just makes me wish more that they made the pirate gear look Shantae's normal look for this game. I mean, they could have done both. They could have had regular Shantae in the beginning of the game, and then for the rest of the game, wearing the pirate gear, or at the very least, have the pirate gear for pirate mode. But oh well. Got a few vine pots here. That I'm forgetting how much EXP they have before I jump into them. But none of them are in a position that's particularly hard to deal with, so this shouldn't be too much of an issue. Wait for the skull to drop and then fly across. That jar piece really shot up like that. That was kind of weird. I sense some skullduggery afoot. Yeah, I'm getting out of there. That's a little, unsettling. Also, I realized I shouldn't have come down here just yet. I should have put my, key to work before I dropped all the way back down. So, now I'm gonna have to hurry back to the top. So, I'm not gonna make you sit through all this, so we're gonna speed up. Okay, now we're back where we need to be. So we'll head back down here. And here's where I can put the key to work. And now we can reach the final switch. And that should activate the machine at the bottom. So let's head on back down and see what we've done. The lights are on. It's ready to activate. So we just hit the switch, and it turns on a fan, which we can then use to ride directly upward. Deku Leaf style. It's fun. You could also slow yourselves down by doing that, but why would you want to do that? Unless you were dodging stuff. And just for good measure, here's yet another enemy rush. Well, are you coming down or not? Oh, fine. Yeah, here's where things are going to get a little hairy. Because now it's time for the Super Pike Ball. Because now we have two of these guys at once. And man, are they a problem. My main strategy here is to just do as much damage to them as possible, and whatever you do, try to avoid their Spikeballs as best you can, because they can do quite a lot of damage in a short amount of time. Try to get one of them out of the picture as quickly as you can before they gang up on you and start really ripping you apart. But there we go. They got my health down quite a bit, but I felt like we managed that fairly well. If you can, use a Super Pike Ball. It makes life so much easier. And we get ourselves another key. Of course, if you have to settle for a regular Pike Ball, then yeah, go ahead and use that. Anything that'll make your life easier. And yeah, now we're looking a little rough, so I'm gonna not pay attention to that thing that just fell on my head. Brilliant! Floating in the air. It's kind of tough to pull this off, where you're just holding yourself in place, but it's super satisfying when you do it. But anyway, you saw it there. The auto potion basically refills all of your hearts as soon as it runs out. So it's basically just like a fairy in a bottle. So that's what happened there. That's what I get for standing still right under a crumbling ceiling piece, I guess. Another good strategy for fighting the succubus enemies is to use Mad Milk, or the Monster Milk, rather. They are capable of allowing you to do more damage to enemies at once. And since you want to take them out as quickly as possible, that's a pretty good strategy as well. We're not going to deal with those spiders. Time to fly on upward, but watch out for the spikes on the wall. Release the R button every now and then if you need to slow down, but there we go. Should be getting pretty close now. Hey, safe guy! And here it is, the way to the boss. A spider that's a bit out of our attacking range, but alas, let's go take on the boss now. Yes, it's the giant spider that tried to eat Roddy Tops. Empress Spider. Chit-Chat Queen Royale. So this is another fight that I would recommend using a Pike Ball for, but I'm going to try to avoid using the Super Pike Ball this time. Again, definitely helps if you've bought some shampoo and silky cream for this fight, otherwise you might be fighting it for a while. Basically, it charges around, it drops these little eggs that will send little spiders after you. They don't take very much to defeat, but you still don't want them around. Also, try not to get too terribly close to the spider's head, otherwise you might ram yourself right into it. When it shoots the fire onto the ground like this, you gotta time your jump a little better, but be ready to jump over it and use your hat to hover over the fire when it's on the ground. If you're using the Super Pike Ball, you can negate that attack when it comes charging to the ground. Alright, jump over it and use the hat. And that's how you avoid that. Getting the timing on that right can be a little tricky, and clearing out those eggs without that spider dropping in on you like that can also be a little tricky. Here comes the fire again, and there we go. It helps if you jump from one side of the screen and then land for where the fire starts. That way you give yourself the most jumping room in order to avoid the attack. It gets a little faster as its health goes down, but overall it's not terribly difficult. Doesn't really bring any new attacks to the table. Once it gets to this point, basically just acts faster. At this point, we're basically just looping the pattern. Ugh. For a giant spider, you'd think it'd be doing more damage than that. I mean, those mace balls were doing more. Not getting quite close enough there. Here comes the fire. Let's go ahead and use another pike ball, speed this up a little bit. Oops. Not quite good enough timing there. Come on, get into my attacking range. Yeah, this guy likes to spend a lot of time out of your range. So, for that reason, this fight can really drag out if you don't have enough power on you, but there we go. Again, if you have super pike balls, go ahead and use those. I got a lot in this dungeon, but I don't want to use them all up here. But that's the Cackle Tower finished.
Tinkerbats.
Again! Stay away from my spinning pike ball of disappearing. It's still there, it's just invisible. See? He's impressed. Hey, get back here, you! Another map. Yeah, I'm starting to think this happened once already. You got the Tan Line Island map.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll be bringing this to Risky, I'm sure.
Did it.
That's one less source of evil for the Pirate Master. I'd better go tell Risky. And indeed, this might be a good time to show off what the Pirate Flare does. Okay, so we just tap this item. And we'll use the Pirate Flare.
Pirate Flare activated.
What this basically does is warp you back to Risky instantly, without having to traverse the level. It's much more convenient. You're back! Not without incident, but I found another island map. And your hat! I thought you'd be excited. I've been thinking about my men, and the curse that controls them. We all sailed together under the Pirate Master's command. The Pirate Master is clever. He'd expect me to go after my pistol and hat. That's why he brought them here, to infuse them with his evil. He's been using the weapons to lure me in. He plans to trigger the curse and put me back under his control. I can't believe I almost fell for such an obvious ruse. Is that why you won't come with me? Because you're under the same curse as your men? I'm not afraid of him! I didn't say you were. I despise him! I'd like to see him return just so I can crush him myself. Big talk from someone with no weapons. I didn't mean to get you all worked up. But hey, at least we're finally talking, right? It's good to get these things off your chest. I'll wait for you on board. And so we give her the Tan Line map. And it's back to sea for us, where we've opened up another new island. But we'll be tackling that in the next video. And here's our numbers for Spiderweb Island. There's still one heart squid left to find, and we saw that buried in the ground in the last video, as well as 2 cackle bats, but again, we'll have to settle with those another time. But for now, we're going to take care of a few errands in Scuttletown. We have a lot of gems, and we might be able to get a little more from Mayor Scuttlebutt. So let's go see what he has offering for us this time. Hey, buddy! I heard someone spreading rumors about the Pirate Master! I must have blocked those awful days entirely from my mind! It would take 9 flesh pops to calm my nerves! Have any for me? Well, I do, but not 9. Alas, it would have been nice to get rid of those. I don't know, maybe I will take the time to go get a couple more. Actually, hold that thought. Okay, 9 flesh pops in hand. Now I can take these back to the mayor. But on our way back, we've got a few other things we need to collect along the way. Now that we have access to the hat, we have access to some items that we couldn't get to before. So we're going to go ahead and take care of those now. Hey, pretty boy, we'll be talking to you in a future part. There's still many things here that we can't quite get access to yet, but, I'll just go ahead and jump to where we need to go. Right, so our first secret is over here. Use the hat to fly over to this branch. And here's a cackle bat. Smack it around a few times. We've fought these things before. We should know how to handle them by now. That's not how we do it. Do not just ram yourself right into them. It's a good way to get yourself killed. But there we go. And suck up its dark magic. Moving on. Only one other thing for us to get right now. And that's that heart squid way up there. Again, with our hat, we can go to this high pillar here and then float over to it. And voila, another heart squid is ours. And with that, I'll see you again at the mayor. Okay, mayor, got your flesh pops. So we give him the 9 flesh pops, and he gives us 50 gems. Totally worth the trip. Oh well, can't complain, not like I needed them anyway. Anyway, we'll head on back into town and take care of the rest of our errands. We have a whole bunch of heart squids that we need to put to work. Not quite enough for 2 hearts, but we will be extending our life bar regardless. This isn't the place. This is. I got some stuff for you to murder. Would this be considered heartless? Not really, because I get the heart. And now we're going to do a little bit of shopping. 385 gems to work with, so let's see what I can go ahead and get with it. Okay. Could get another shampoo and silky cream each, but that wouldn't leave me much money to get anything else. Pretty much these are the 3 you want to focus on early in the game, is the shampoo, silky cream, and pistol tune-up. But a pistol tune-up is going to cost quite a bit, and that's only going to make it do 1 more damage, so I think the money is best invested in your primary attack, so I will get 1 shampoo and 1 silky cream. And now we can whip faster and harder than before. we can get one more upgrade of each of those before we're at max power. And with that, I believe we are now done. So, we're going to go ahead and call it here. And in the next part, we're taking on Tan Line Island. See you then!